Welcome to Gatone Stadium on this November 24th, 2016 for the 145th meeting between Millville High School, the Thunderbolts, and Vineland High School, the Fighting Clan. This is an annual Turkey Day game that's been played for a lot of years. Great tradition. My name is John Parentazzi. I'll be your color analyst. My partner, Rich Garper, will do the play-by-play. And this is probably one of the better years and two better teams facing each other. Both had outstanding years, and we should see a really outstanding game. That 145 meets, that's a little, there's a little catch in there, Rich, sometimes, because sometimes they play 2 and 3 games a year, and we're going back a lot of years to try to get the exact number, but it's pretty close. And after 144 meetings, Vineland is ahead by 1 game.
Exactly,
so
Coach.
Tight. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, it started in 1893. These two teams got together for the first time and continuously been going at it. As Coach mentioned, Vineland has a 1-game lead. This is pretty astounding. And Vineland 63 wins in the series. Millville 62 wins in the series, and there have been 19 ties. So, ups and downs both ways, and we've seen Vineland in a little bit of a downswing, just starting to come back up out of it now. Millville has won 7 straight, but it was 2 years ago. 2014 was probably one of the most entertaining games. It was the highest scoring game in the series as Vineland jumped out to a lead, and Millville came back and defeated Vineland 44-40, putting up the most points in this series, and that, of course, was Isaiah Pacheco's freshman year. And Pacheco last week, just incredible rushing the ball, or last week, the playoff game, that he's got himself with an outside shot of a 1,000-yard season.
The game itself, Rich, is really phenomenal. You wait all year for this game, and it comes, and the players and the coaches are excited. And when it's over, it's like somebody pulls a plug. If you lose, when I lost, I didn't eat. When I tied, I didn't eat. But it was a great meal if we won. So you get some highs and lows, and this is where legends are made, Rich. You can go back in this game, and I saw my first one in '55. And the legends, each Turkey Day, as the teams went, you remember players that just were outstanding in this game. All of a sudden, star power came out in this game. It was really neat.
Yeah, I've been in every part of this game as a younger brother, having my older brother take me to the game and throwing confetti, sitting out in the bleachers, to having the opportunity to play in 3 of these games, and then come back and coach for about 8 or 9 years, and then broadcasting after that. So been around it a ton, except for a little getaway to college, and it's certainly something that no matter what's going on, both teams come together, and you look forward to this. As I always mention, when you want to build a program and establish yourself, you've got to beat your neighbors, and there's not a better rivalry than Vineland-Millville.
We had a few young men who jump ship both ways.
I can remember Challo. I remember that when I was young watching.
Leo Cutliff was another. He called me the night before the game and told me they were going to beat us. And I said, Leo, just show up. But it's really a game that is, you just remember things that are happening.
Well, before we go too much further along and start breaking down this game of 9-1 and 7-2, both playoff teams coming in here, let's thank our sponsors for an outstanding season, and we really appreciate you being involved, and make sure that when you can, you support them. Today's Vineland High School football game is brought to you as a public service to these community-minded businesses. The Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, 4049 Italia Avenue in Vineland, 856-691-5558. Beretta Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling at 1784 Pine Avenue, Vineland, 856-691-1950. Newfield Bank, 11 locations in Cumberland and Gloucester County, 800-690-3440. Richland Carpet and Flooring, 1309 Harding Highway, Richland, 856-697-3041. Larry's 2 Restaurant, 907 North Main Road, Vineland, 856-692-9001. Ducharme's at 8 North... I forgot to write down the new one. 925 East Landis, Vineland, 856-690-1500. Patino ShopRite, 1255 West Landis Avenue, Vineland, 856-691-9395. Bachma Landscaping, 822 North Brewster Road, Vineland, 856-691-1559. Sir Speedy, 22 West Landis Avenue, Vineland, 856-691-0741. And Dr. Joseph Bernardini at Reconstructive Orthopedics, 994 West Sherman Avenue, Vineland, 856-696-0900. The members of the Vineland Education Association are proud to support the student athletes of our community. Happy Thanksgiving from our family to yours. And our family includes the crew that have done an outstanding job all year. And today's crew is going to be Mark McGill, Kayla Spire, crew chiefs, Doug Diola, Ryan Steinbraun, Dan Diola, and executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masori, the school district's public information officer.
Rich, I have to apologize to our fans and the listeners. I have a cold, so if you hear me, just get off the air a little, Rich. I apologize ahead of time. I've got lozenges. I've got, we call them hot toddies, you said. I got everything. And this is the first call I had in like this time of year. But I got my flu shots and all them shots for the first time in years, and I'm going to never get them again.
Got you a week. Well, today, Millville comes in, and they like to throw the ball. They're led by their quarterback, Marcel Ramos. He's 5'10", 180. He's completed 53% of his passes for over 1,400 yards with 20 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. He's ranked third in the Old Cape teams with a 157 passer ranking. Now, those passer rankings are a little strange, and different things count up to add them up. For Vineland's going to answer with Isaiah Pacheco at quarterback. Doesn't throw the ball as much, 24 for 50, throwing at 48% for 480 yards, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And he's actually, his quarterback ranking is just a little higher at 168, but Pacheco also brings in 832 rushing yards to the table. Rushing for Millville, Clayton Scott is having one of the best seasons in the Old Cape. He comes in at 5'10", 180. He has 230 carries for 1,400 yards. So that's a lot of one running back getting the ball, pounding it up in there, and it's going to be up to the whole defense, but mostly led by Daquan Cosby at inside linebacker to try to control Clayton Scott. So we talk about that 1,400 yards rushing for Clayton Scott. Well, Vineland answers with the rushing back trio, but we'll mention 2 of them right now with Davon Seymour, who's missed a few games. Seymour, 6 foot, 230 pounds, comes into the game as the number 10 rusher, averaging just under 8 yards a carry with 684 yards. Isaiah Pacheco, as I mentioned, 97 carries for 832 yards. So put them together, they're over 1,500 yards. And you add Cash Phillips, who's averaging almost 8 yards a carry. Vineland really leans on that rushing attack. And sometimes when they show pass, it's Pacheco in space, which is probably the most difficult task to handle, is bringing him down.
He has brought back his running style, Rich, from his freshman year. Last year, he really was way off on his rushing. This year, he has been tremendous. When he gets to that outside, he just breaks it.
Well, last year, about half the season, he was at running back, which was a little different than taking those breaks and taking the quarterback carries. So for Millville up front, it's Walker, Ramos, Holbrook, Stanley, and Washington, the offensive line. They do an outstanding job and really get off the football, but they're kind of undersized at around 205 pounds, the average across the way, with Waller at 6'2", 220, and Washington at 6'3", 240 being the big guys in there. Vineland's offensive line, on the other hand, comes in over 250 pounds and has been one of the parts of the team that has gelled and controlled most of the action on that line of scrimmages, Rick Gazier, Assistant Athletic Director, is being honored as we see him come through there. It's going to be his last Thanksgiving Day game as the Assistant AD as he's set to retire. Well, Millville has some other things on their mind as they've made it to the Group 5 South Jersey Championship game. And we'll be playing Toms River North next weekend. For Vineland, it was a first-round playoff loss to Howe that has had them chomping at the bit for a couple of weeks getting ready for this one.
Some of the fans in the stands asked me today, you think Millville will let down in this game? I said, are you kidding me?
The other thing,
Are you serious? They even think that that's going to happen?
well, let me just start before we get too far into this broadcast and let you know that as a former Vineland coach, player, and now a broadcaster, I don't root for Millville at all during Vineland games, but I am their biggest supporter when they're not playing Vineland and it doesn't negatively impact. Hope to be able to make it to their championship game and wish them all the best there, but not today. As the Fighting Clan gets set for this game today, there's people talking, well, is Millville going to play their starters because they have the group championship? Well, let me tell you, if they don't play their starters, it'll be the first time these other guys have gotten in the game. As the one knock on Millville all season long, they've been just thumping teams out, has been that their coach, Dennis Thomas, really doesn't play the backups. Even up 50 points, there's 2 games in the fourth quarter with under 6 minutes left, up almost 50 points, fake punts and scoring again. So his foot is on the throttle, and it's just go, go, go. So you're going to see their starters. They're going to bring it and play and gear up for the championship game as Robert Kling comes through, the kicker. And we're going to announce all the seniors here. I'll turn it over to Elliot DeShields.
Senior running back number 5, Cash Phillips. Senior quarterback number 9, Lyndon Williams. Senior free safety number 3, Rayshawn Blakely. Senior wide receiver number 11, Vasalios Anthropopoulos. Senior strong safety number 45, Richard Lane. Senior linebacker number 27, Daytrell Williams. Senior linebacker number 15, Daquan Godley. Senior defensive tackle number 74, Ivan Hale. Senior nose guard number 52, Jalen Ziegler.
Not a good football player.
Senior linebacker number 40, Jared Banks. And senior running back number 28, Devon Seymour.
For those of you that have been following Vineland football, Seymour is back and healthy. He's the workhorse running back, 230 pounds, very difficult to bring down. A lot of times I like to mention the guys as they're coming through, but then I end up talking over 1 and 2. So the last football game for a lot of these senior players, they look to go out with a win for the first time in 7 years over Millville, who's heading to the Group 5 South Championship game next week.
At this time, entering the field, presenting our
Millville
nation's
defensively, it's Zach Douglas and Darius Porter at linebacker positions. They're going to be tasked with the job of trying to figure out if Seymour, Phillips, or Pacheco's keeping that football. There's some IDing involved, not just reading blocks and getting there. Pacheco carries out his fakes very well, and that IDing and making the right reads and getting there, it's going to be tough on the linebackers, but they certainly can handle as the Millville defense has been pretty stout all season long. as we match up these teams. Let's take a look here. Scoring, points per game. Vineland second with 36, Millville third with 33. Fewest points allowed, Millville up top with 11.6, Vineland in third place with 13 points. So teams match up fairly well. Team rushing touchdowns, Vineland second with 33. Team passing touchdowns, Millville first with 22. Receiving for Millville, Carlton Lawrence has 8 receiving touchdowns. Marcel Ramos, 8 receiving touchdowns. And Vineland's Naheem Anderson also with 8 receiving touchdowns. But Tristan Harris, the quarterback for Millville, leads the way with 20 passing touchdowns. Millville doesn't kick at all or a lot, to say the least. They always go for 2 points. So the kicking game looks like a lean to Vineland as Robert Kling is third in the Old Cape with 40 kicking points, third in extra points, third in field goals with 3. Then we get to special teams, or as you like to call them, specialty teams. Carlton Lawrence from Millville has 3 kick returns. Isaiah Pacheco has 2. And Cash Phillips has about 9 called back this year. So both teams really good on team return touchdowns, as they're both second in the Old Cape, both with 3.
At this time, we ask that everyone please stand.
Fewest rushing touchdowns allowed, Vineland and Millville tied, only giving up 10 rushing touchdowns. Fewest passing touchdowns allowed, Millville first, only giving up 4, and then Vineland has given up 6. Step aside for our national anthem. Yeah, let me know, because we're trying to communicate here. What do you got?
The refs couldn't even find the flag. The flag's over there.
I was looking, I'm like, oh, most of them don't have hair? Is that what he's talking about?
There's the flag.
Oh, no, they had the color guard one they were hitting. All right.
Oh, that one,
Well, forgive me. I just thought you meant they've all lost their hair after a long season. Well, this shapes up to be a really nice competitive football game. It looks like it's going to be that way for a while as both teams are ascending to the top. This is also for second place in the Colonial Conference of the West Jersey Football League, as St. Augustine Prep has won that. And Vineland and Millville, both with 1 loss. The winner today will finish in second place, which is pretty good. You've got St. Augustine Prep ranked in the top 5 in South Jersey a few weeks ago. You have Millville going to the Group 5 championship, Vineland, a Group 5 playoff team, and you have Atlantic City in that conference also. And Atlantic City nearly knocked off Toms River North. So Vineland's going to get the ball first. And it'll be Zach Douglas doing the kicking for the Thunderbolts. Pacheco, Garcia, and Phillips back. Excuse me, make that Seymour now in the middle. Seymour's the deep guy. Pacheco up in front of him alongside Garcia. Let's see if both of these teams are going to be kicking it deep. And sure enough, high end over end. It's going to be Seymour down at the 5. He starts to head upfield, looking to pick his way into the middle, returns it to the 25, where Vineland will take over 1st and 10. Well, pregame, Coach, you were talking about one of the advantages for Vineland today, and you were mentioning Millville, a ton of guys going both ways. Yeah, and you add to that the size advantage for Vineland, nearly 250 pounds across the board up front when you average it all out. That there's going to be a big, heavy lean. So Pacheco with Seymour right alongside Millville's linebacker showing blitz, and here they come. Can Seymour get to the outside? And he's wrestled down maybe a loss of about a half a yard. A little slow in developing there as both linebackers from Millville stunt through the middle, Douglas and Porter.
There's a young man in there, Rich, I never saw before, 66 from Millville. Must be a youngster.
So back to the line, 2nd and 10. It's the give to Seymour. In the middle, picks up about 2. Nice job by that defense.
That's his forte, running up the middle. He's not going to hurt you with them pitches.
Yeah, Jamar Holbrook on the stop. So 3rd and 6. Vineland, of course, would like to get a couple first downs here and change some field position. You don't want that first drive going 3 and out. See if Pacheco tries to do something with his feet. He's back to pass. It's quarterback draw in the middle. He's got an opening. He cuts to the inside. Can he get to the outside? Picks up a block to the 50, to the 45, when he's escorted out of bounds by Kyle Yancey, but not before he picks up about 25 yards. So Vineland now in Millville territory at the 45. As we take another look at this. Take me through it, Coach.
That's a set play, Rich. There's no way he's pissed. See him come right down with it? That's a quarterback draw.
And the vision here is he cuts to the inside, picks up the block from Anderson, and then wisely steps out of bounds. Here's the pass. This time it's dropped and incomplete.
Boy, we haven't been able to make that play work, Rich. That bubble pass to the outside. I think that was Phillips it was meant for.
Not sure if that's Phillips or Garcia. Can't tell if it's a 5 or a 6.
I got I got all this piping in the basement that I just took out, all the lead pipe.
So 2nd and 10.
Copper, no, not copper. Old ass piping. I got it all in the basement.
It's like Garcia to me.
You want it? Ray and Walnut Street, right down the street from him.
There's an opening in the middle, but it's closed up real quick. An outstanding tackle by Carlton Lawrence for Millville. As his pursuit almost ended up coming from behind.
Their linebackers are very quick, Rich. They fill the hole very quick. They actually got 4 linebackers. See how they're playing that defense?
Mm-hmm.
They have 8 people in the box to stop the run. They have no respect at all for our passing game.
Vineland's tried to get it out wide to Seymour. That didn't work. Tried a quick swing pass. That didn't work, so 3rd and 10. Pacheco into the middle, keeps his feet moving. He may have picked up enough that Vineland may go for it here as they're inside the 40 at the 38-yard line. It's going to be 4th and about 4.
Ooh, this is quite a gamble early in the game, Rich. Unless they're just trying to get him to come offside with that. You know that quick count they use?
Mm-hmm. Now, I kind of think if you're there, you punt it, it's going to go in the end zone. So it's a 17-yard that you're giving Millville if you don't make it. But worth the shot here for Vineland and Pacheco. As it is Garcia in at running back. He crosses. I think Coach may have had it. And they called timeout. Good call, Coach, as they were just trying to draw them off sides.
Yeah.
I still
almost
say you
had
go
the
for
left
it.
end.
Yeah, so John Garcia gets to start today at running back. He's a sophomore, 5'5", 130. him get some carries earlier in the year, but then a lot of defensive plays. He's usually the first one to rotate in on those positions.
Phillips isn't hurt, is he?
No, he's over there. So decision time for Coach Russo. Just to size this up, Millville comes in. Max Preps ranked 16th in the state. Vineland 65th. They made a run up to 24 for that loss to Howe.
But you know me. Punt the ball.
Nah.
Heck yeah.
You're giving up 17 yards. You got to figure if you punt it, it's going in the end zone.
No, why
Or
you don't
Millville
have to-
does lead the old. Millville leads the league in kick returns for touchdowns also.
Just punt it low into the sideline. You're going to give the ball up in pretty good field position here. You don't make it.
Two different philosophies here in the booth. See if Pacheco's just going to keep this himself. And he tries to get wide, big pressure. He's got to get back up to the line. And he's tackled for like a yard loss. So Millville takes over at the 40.
You owe me one.
I don't know you.
You owe
I'm
me
telling
one.
you the chance of getting that first down versus giving up 19 yards. Because you got to figure it's going out of bounds. It's going in the end zone. They're going to get it on the 20. Now they got it on the 40. But we had a chance at 4 yards for a first down to keep the ball. I like the odds in that.
Nah.
You put
Too
me at
early.
midfield, it's different. But I don't like the running lateral, though. So first and 10 for Millville. Tristan Harris at the quarterback spot, number 12. Most plays he'll have the 4 receivers all spread out. Cosby drops out, showed blitz, and backed out. And throwing deep to the side and almost complete. A great attempt by Carlton Lawrence as he got up and almost came down with it. So second and 10 for the Thunderbolts.
One of our Achilles heel this year has been the passing game. The young man Morales from Howe, he ate us up.
Yeah, and
You know,
that was a big, I mean, all year long you haven't seen much of a passing game. I think it's a good thing that Morales was here 2 weeks ago to get you ready for what Tristan Harris and the Thunderbolts are going to try to do through the air. It's a run over the right side. It's a fake and thrown out of bounds. Good.
that's a pretty good fake.
I think we got a lineman downfield, number 62 for the Thunderbolts. Okay, I think that's what the call is going to be. As he threw that late.
Oh,
Grounding.
grounding.
I don't know if we can get another look at that. I didn't see,
I didn't see any
much
grounding.
pressure to make the grounding happen.
There was no pressure. He just must have threw it in the ground.
So he's got it there. I
That's a
guess because he couldn't make it to the line without getting tackled, and he gave up on the play, but kind of looked like he had rolled outside the pocket quite far enough.
Well, sit down. Third down.
Lost it down and the yards from the spot, so third and long now. 3rd and 15. Let's see if Millville tries to hit a double move here. Got Sammy O down to the bottom of the screen for Millville. Naheem Anderson shows blitz. They alter the blocking up front. Harris throws it in the middle, complete, and the ball's knocked loose. And it's going to be incomplete on the big hit. It's not able to hold on to it. He had it right in his hands. Before Blakely comes up from that safety spot. Protection's good. They pick up the blitz here. Right there, they ID where he's coming from. He wants his back to go over there and pick him up. Scott goes. And boom, Blakely sizes him up with the big hit. Otherwise, without that hit, it's a first down Millville. So big play by senior Blakely. And now Isaiah Pacheco back at his own 30.
Too deep.
So going for it doesn't hurt the Clan as Millville actually loses 6 yards on their first possession. And they'll be punting from their own 34.
Told Rich.
And Pacheco comes back on top of it. Yeah, about 5 more yards up or a quick break for the ball, we'd have been all right. But Vineland with decent field position to start out. Looks like they're going to be at their own 32.
One of the things you scout is how far the kid punts. And you set him up. And we did that every week. We knew how far they could punt. If he gets a good one off, you don't get hurt.
Yeah,
But if he gets a bad one off, you get hurt worse.
yeah. So 1st and 10, Vineland tried to pound the ball to Seymour early. Didn't work out on their first drive. It was a Pacheco run that got to go on. This one opens up. There's the hard running from Seymour we've been accustomed to as he picks up about 7 yards on the play.
That's where Seymour hurt you. They've got a very unique defense,
Just
Millville, Rich. They've got their
The leg
linebackers
drive here
wide.
from Seymour after he's hit just keeps plowing forward. Real nice tackle on the
See,
play by
See
Holbrook.
where their outside linebackers are? They're way outside.
Boy, that's some hard running by Seymour and great defense by the Thunderbolts as Seymour's hit square and stopped but continues to plow forward for the first down. That's that 230 pounds without a soft spot to hit. So first quarter moving along, not too fast. We're at 7.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Vineland's second possession. Pacheco takes it himself. Ardahan out front blocking, but pursuit from behind brings him down. As in on the tackle is Malachi DeVal. Garcia getting some big minutes here as he comes out, and Cosby comes in at the running back spot. Now, DeQuan Cosby hasn't really carried the ball since his freshman year when he was one of Vineland's leading rushers at fullback. Made the transition offensive guard and linebacker. This year just linebacker. Well, he's back there now. Let's look to see if he's going to lead the blocking on this. 51 on the left side. Cosby comes up, makes a nice block. There's a great tackle on the inside by 58. That's Holbrook again. 6 foot 194. He's really got a nose for the football. He's been involved a lot on the inside there. 3rd and about 3.
Rich, we're not holding our blocks.
You're coming off them a
We've
little
held
too
our
quick.
blocks all year. And all of a sudden now we're just taking a step and firing out, and that's the end of it.
You know, a lot of times you try to do too much, you come off that initial block. And really, all you have to do is block that initial line, and your running backs can do the rest. Don't worry about getting to that linebacker. See if Vineland tries to get wide. That's going to be close to the first down, going to be a little short. Looks like it's going to be 4th and about 1 from the Millville 48. Now I punt, Coach. I just thought if we were on the 40, I'd go again, but now Vineland's going to go for it, or at least line up to go for it. The only positive thing is, you know, sometimes you need to make a statement to your team and to your offensive line, but the field position isn't really advantageous at this point. Seymour alongside Pacheco. Vineland is going for it. There's the give to Seymour through the middle, and he's got the first down and then some more as he's wrestled down at the 37-yard line. So Vineland 1 for 2 on 4th downs.
Excellent call. They went off the right side.
And they also attacked the line of scrimmage, you see on that right side, and just that hard running to end it off.
Last time they tried to go wide with Pacheco, they didn't make it.
So 1st and 10, Vineland on the move. Garcia in motion. Him to pass is Pacheco. He's under pressure.
You got to get
He's
rid of
hit,
the ball.
stays in bounds, floats it, and it's caught by Anderson. Way to stay in bounds by Pacheco, and Anderson rips it away from the defender. It's going to be a gain of about 6 or 7. The time Pacheco buys for himself here, he has time early, but he doesn't have a receiver. So he's going to sit in that pocket, and then here comes the pressure. To the outside, almost stepping out of bounds, and he throws it back in to Anderson, who gets it at the 30 before he's wrestled back. Good job fighting for that, and a great spot of the ball by the officials as he was brought down a few yards back behind that, but that's where he did catch it. And just like you talked about holding your blocks, that was a little problem that flushed him out of the pocket. Pacheco looking for somewhere to go, and there's not much there. It's going to be maybe a gain of 1. Three minutes and 30 seconds in the first quarter. One thing Pacheco did good there, knowing down and distance, after it was bottled up, he started to move outside and looked for that first opportunity to get back to the inside before giving up some yards. So third. Naheem Anderson at the bottom of the screen. No safety help on the inside. Let's see what Vineland's going to do. They should be pounding this. And there's Pacheco through the middle. Big spin move, stays on his feet, and he's dropped down inside the 20 at the 19 for another first down for the Fighting Clan. Now, this has been a grinding play, but right here through the middle, that spin move frees him up.
It's funny, he's a better runner from tackle to tackle, Rich. You know why? He's going forward. He's not going laterally.
Always talk about putting pressure on the defense. Looks like we're going to have a timeout, Millville. So Millville takes the timeout as Coach Dennis Thomas tries to get his defense regrouped. But I always like running backs that attack the defense. And I think when you attack like Pacheco does at full speed, it makes you make a decision on how you're going to try to get to him, how you're going to bring him down. And then the little elusiveness while you're heading upfield is all you really need to open things up. And he really attacks the defense. So it's been John Garcia at running back with Seymour, Pacheco at quarterback. That offensive line that's been doing a great job on this drive here. Noah Sansalone, Lawton Ardahan, Bachma at center, Hales at guard, Timmy Jones at tackle, Naheem Anderson tight end, wide receivers Wyatt Kent and Jared Banks.
I wonder why Phillips isn't playing. No one said he was hurt or anything. Did they tell us, Rich?
So first in the red zone. It's Pacheco and Seymour. Pacheco going to throw. He's got pressure. He eludes it. He's to the 15. Jumps out of bounds at around the 11-yard line. There's one of your all-South Jersey linebackers, Rich Rizzo, just having a seat. With the other linebacker, you had Brian Giordano. It's like the plethora down there, and Rick Bernozzi, all the all-South Jersey guys. So Pacheco here, big straight arm, buys him the time to get to the 15 and cuts down inside. So Malachi DeVal tried to make the stop and
Had a bad angle on.
And Pacheco can do that to you with his feet. He can outrun some of those angles. So 2nd and 3. Seymour in the middle just houses down inside the 10.
I think he has the first.
Looks like he's at the 8, and they signal first down right on,
Yeah.
Coach, 1st and goal. for the Fighting Clan.
This reminds me of the year, Rich, were you with the 0-0 tie?
Oh, gosh, yeah. Ruined every
We
Thanksgiving
ran
I wake up, I'm upset.
We ran up and down the field, good
Oh, yeah.
score.
I think it was something like 270-some yards rushing that game. Yeah, costly turnovers and other things. But Pacheco himself, not much in the middle, tries to squirt through. Looks like he's going to be at the 6. This has been a long drive from Vineland. We're down under 2 minutes to go
This
in the
drive
first quarter.
started at the Vineland 32, Rich. We're down here now, what, around the 5, 6, 7. Looks like 7 on that stick.
So 2nd and goal. Pacheco gets him set. See if they go to Seymour here. And they do, and there's an opening over the left side, but boy, did that close quick. Once again on the stop, it's Holbrook. Boy, that was a big opening over that left side. A nice push by the offensive line of Sansalone and Ardahan on that left side. But, boy, just closing it down quick. An outstanding play. But now Vineland at 3rd and goal. This ball's going to be close to the 3-yard line.
Got to give it to Seymour.
That's where you need that option 0. Get his shoulders square right from the get-go.
Yeah.
Seymour in the middle. Does he have it? He's in for the score. Nice job again up front. Blocking of the Fighting Clan. Vineland gets on the scoreboard first on the 3-yard run by Davon Seymour. Be Robert Kling coming in to attempt the extra point. So a long, successful drive started with, well, not started, but a big conversion. Snap, placement, boom through. Going to hit a bus. Kling converts for 7-0 Vineland. Big play on that drive. May not touchdown, may not have been the first down runs, was that 4th down call right around midfield where Vineland converted to 4th and about 3 to keep this drive alive.
"68-yard drive, Rich. Took almost 7 minutes. That was pretty good.
Oh, yeah. And we haven't seen many of those. We've seen breaking some big plays and getting in. Vineland certainly can drive the football, but you usually get a little more each time with it. Good defense by Millville slowed them down, but held them to that 4th down. And a different decision by Coach Russo. Coach Russo decides to punt. Things could be different. This time it worked out, and Vineland gets on the board. Congratulations. And now Millville set to return the Kling kick. Crowd has filled up on both sides. Just like the old days where that fence along the field is about 3 deep in the end zone on the west side. Yeah, not many seats left on this side, and then you see the ring around the field and something to cheer about here, but now it's time for that high-powered Millville offense to get the football. A 3-and-out here could do wonders for the Fighting Clan.
Oh, we were offside.
Kling kicks it, but it's high and
got away
short.
with it.
At the 20, there's a seam in the middle, and breaking through before Blakely finally brings him down. Nice return on the play by Bruce Williams for the Thunderbolts, who gets Millville great starting field position at their own 43-yard line.
Are we going to see a replay of that? I guess not.
So this is Millville's 2nd time with the ball, right, Coach?
Yep.
Was an weird intentional grounding penalty that really shut them down on that first drive, setting up 3rd and 15 that they weren't able to convert. So Tristan Harris is going to give it another shot here. Seymour On time, chasing down, but can't make the tackle. And to the outside on a nice play goes Clayton Scott.
Boy, he is quick.
Yeah, he timed that one right and running the other way.
That ball was supposed to be a run up the middle, and by the time he got finished running, he was always at the sideline.
For that Vineland defense up front, it's Anthony Reyes, Ziegler, and Ivan Hale. Audibles.
They got a bubble pass coming, Rich.
This is going to take a little time. Where's my back judge? Let's start waving that hand. There's some confusing. I think you want to press up a little bit, see if Anderson can deflect this bubble pass that we believe's coming. And Anderson does deflect. And it goes incomplete. Now, was that a good call or what, Coach? And I think Anderson certainly had the vision and knew what they were going to try to do and jumped up in that lane. Outstanding job by Anderson.
I watched enough film on him the last 2 weeks. When he goes with the stripe on his hands.
Just a nice leap. Oh, you picked up the audibles. So third down now for Millville. Millville 0 for 1 on third down. Seems like they want to ID where Anderson is each play. Well, Anderson's trying to take away the wide side of the field. There's pressure on him. Stepping up is Harris. To the outside, it's thrown. And what an outstanding catch and an outstanding throw. Carlton Lawrence keeps 1 foot on the ground and catches the pass. That's a tough assignment for your middle linebacker, league's leading receiver, for about 8 seconds. But he was there, but just an outstanding pass where only Lawrence could get it.
We're putting pressure on Rich, but we can't get to him.
It's hard to find. Not the biggest in stature at 5'10", 180. Pass again. This time there's some time, and that's going to be floated and complete. And a touchdown for the Thunderbolts, Bruce Williams. As Tristan Harris puts it right on the money. So now Millville's answered back, and Millville most likely would be going for 2 like they always do. Vineland needs to be set and ready. As we watch, he's in the pocket, and he just floats it.
Who caught that, Rich? Number 6.
And it goes right out to the outstretched arms. An outstanding job by Bruce Williams pulling that in. Well, Millville lining up what looks to be a 2 running back set on this extra point. Extra tight end in. So it's more of a wildcat setup this time for Millville. Into the top of the screen, trying to get wide. And there's no signal, and Vineland has stopped him. Oh, now there's a late signal. No signal for a while. Let's cue that replay. No signal for a long time. And then the signal comes in. So we're going to watch down to the bottom of your screen as he tries to get to the inside of the pylon, and we'll know for sure in a second. Shedding the blocker is Pacheco. He beats the first guy. He comes, gets to the second guy, turns him back in. And there's the hit. And it looks like he did not get in. I don't know. It's real hard to tell on that angle. They're certainly close enough to go either way. But the pylon certainly not knocked down. So Millville 8-7. Always like teams that go for 2 all the time. I think you got 2.5 yards. You can be creative. Coach Heck from Millville used to do that all the time, and he'd have 15 different plays from down there. But you basically take Vineland's touchdown off the board with the 2-point conversion because now you have the lead tie game. You're forcing that other team to do something. Now, if you don't get it, it's not the end of the world if the other team's kicking extra points because your next score, you got a chance to even it back out. But outstanding pass by Harris to Williams. Gets all that going. Williams, the junior, at 5'10", 178 for Millville. Marcel Ramos, I believe it was, converted the 2-point conversion. Douglas kicks this one deep to Seymour. Seymour at his 6. He starts heading up the field, tries to get to the outside, big straight arm, but there's a lot of defenders there, so he's finally knocked out, but gets back to about the 30-yard line. And that's going to do it for the first quarter, Coach, as Millville holds the 8-7 lead. Vineland taking over for the third time today. So Millville 1 for 2 on third downs. The last one was a big one. How'd that first quarter figure out for you, Coach?
Well, each team had 2 possessions. Each team scored on one of the possessions. The second time they had the ball. Williams caught a pass from Harris, 36 yards, got the 2. Went up 8-7. Vineland scored on a 3-yard run by Seymour, 45.2 seconds. Went up 6-0. Klink made the point, went up 7-0. Millville came right back. So that was 2 possessions in the first quarter. Each scored on one of them.
It was kind of what you were expecting today, Coach?
Yeah, well, you got 2 pretty good teams battling here, you know. We've started on our 25, 32, 32, so they're pretty consistent where we've started the drives from. Our drive was 7 minutes. Their drive was 36 seconds.
Seymour through the middle, about 6, maybe 7 on the carry. Brandon Waller in on the stop for the Thunderbolts. So officially he's going to be 2nd and 4. Seymour may have picked the wrong way that time.
He picked the wrong hole that time.
Yeah, that hole was a little bit more on the left side. He had a first down yardage in there, just not able to see it.
He might be still running.
That was one thing, in coaching, you get, the lineman missed the block, the lineman, well, sometimes, as a back, you've got to be able to find the hole there. It's jumbled up, little seams. So let's see here, 3rd and 2. Pacheco himself spins and pushes forward for the first down. Nice heads up, smart running as he wiggles, twists, and turns and gets the first down. Been mentioning the offensive line doing a nice job today. We've ID'd them, but also Coach Cefalalio has really done a nice job bringing these guys together. Some of them have experience from last year, but their level of play has just risen. And that's thanks to all the coaches involved, especially their line coach. So 1st and 10 for the Fighting Clan. Give to Seymour. That hole opens up late, but Seymour's ready, and he's standing in it as he trucks over one before he's finally brought down by Carlton Lawrence. Sammy O, the first one, number 5, trying to make the stop. But a big game by Seymour.
It's a difference in the teams, Rich. Grinding it and striking.
Yeah, and you think it would be the kind of Vineland a little more striking, but they're using their advantage that they have, which is in that size and the push. So with Sammy Oquendo almost making a stop, there's Seymour right through the middle. He's looking for somebody to run into, spins and down at the 20. Second play in a row going over that left side of the offensive line, where Timmy Jones and Ivan Harris, Bachma at the nose guard, Anderson at the tight end. There's a big old gap in the seam. It looked like Bachma really sealed off that outside as he came down on a great block. So 1st and 10, Vineland on the move, getting big chunks. And I don't see a
Millville
flag.
calls timeout. That's
So
their
for
second.
For the second time, Millville calls a timeout to try to motivate the defense. And I do love these timeouts. I think a lot of times coaches worry about clock management with timeouts. And sometimes you need to manage what's happening on the field, make corrections, give your guys a break, boost them up or rip them apart, motivate them whichever way you can. So another timeout used for Millville defensively as Vineland on the move.
It's a pretty solid performance by both teams so far. They both used their strengths
Yeah.
to score. I still don't like that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, it's kind of like
He flipped them out at the 2-yard line.
to see if they're in. You put your hands in the air right away. You just hate when they're unpiling and there's time and then the call's made. But Coach Thomas for Millville, in keeping with that 2-point conversion tries that he's been doing all year, I mean, I really love that approach to it. You have one of the league's best kickers in Robert Kling here, but his kick's only worth 1 point. So after touchdowns are exchanged, you still got to score again to take the lead. So 1st and 10 right at the 20-yard line. There's the fake. It's the give to Pacheco over the right side. Ardahan leading it up.
Well, they're getting 4 yards at a clip, Rich.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can keep
No.
doing that. And that was one of the pregame things we were talking about with linebacker play from Millville, Zach Douglas and Darius Porter. But you don't know who has the ball, and it really slows you down a step. Maybe almost 5 on that. Garcia in motion. Pacheco gives to Seymour through the middle, and he drives forward for a gain of 2 or 3. Ball comes out late. So 3rd down. 3rd and 4.
We in 4-down territory or Kling?
You're going to punt. You want to punt all the time, Coach.
Not here.
That's a good call. Let's see. Not much wind. You're at the 15. 37-yard field goal. Were they back 7 instead of 6 here? So let's see what Vineland gets here. That'll help make the decision. Hopefully a 1st down. Pacheco takes it himself. It looks like he's going to lose yards as he's squared up and dropped down. Real nice tackle on the play by Clayton Scott.
That's the second time Pacheco tried to bounce it outside and got. Remember the 4th down play?
Yeah, right there. Just that hit drives him back. And look at that squared up tackle. Outstanding job by Clayton Scott. Kling is going to try a field goal. This will be a long one as he sets up at the 23-yard line. This will be a 33-yard attempt. It's Bachman with the snap. Blakely with the hold. Kling going to try to kick. And it's up. And it's high enough. And it's long enough. And it's good. Robert Kling puts Vineland back on top with a 33-yard field goal. Well, I've been telling you for 4 or 5 minutes the advantage of Millville going for 2. And this was the advantage we talked about before the game, that Vineland had a kicking game. An outstanding snap by Bachman. Good placement by Blakely and an outstanding kick. Perfect blocking up front. No pressure. Great job. Great drive. Way to get some points and take the lead back. Now you put it in the hands of your defense, which has led most of the year. Can you imagine saying that your defense has led the team when your offense has put up about as many points as anybody ever in Vineland history, but that defense been real stingy, especially with the ones in there. I'm getting agita looking at all these people on the sideline. Coach, kids running. I don't know. We need two things for next year. We need some grass to replace the dirt. We need to secure some of this sideline stuff. Too many dignitaries, not enough fans.
A lot of Chiefs, huh?
Yeah, I head coach wrestling here for 10 years, and if I wasn't coaching football, I wasn't on that sideline. But you've got parents, you've got kids playing catch down in the corner, people trying to do a TV show, which is fine, of course. But, oh no. I didn't want parents that close to me if I got one. Here's a high kick down to the 12. Looking for room to go, and there's space in the middle. And to the outside. Kling to beat, and he's got him beat. Bruce Williams is going to get in the end zone for the second time today. Boy, what an outstanding return by Williams as he hit the middle of the field where the opening was and then just bounced it
86 yards.
to the outside. The patience, and now once he's to the outside, he's gone. Blakely pursues, but you're not going to catch Williams on that. As Williams is turkey, no matter what happens here, is going to taste a little better. He's in the end zone for the second time with 6:55 in the first half. You saw that play developing. Just as Vineland special teams gets the field goal, you start giving a little nod to Vineland on special teams, and Millville says, oh, we're going to get 6 or 8 points out of this as they're going for 2 here again, as they're up 14-10 now. And there's a delay of game on Millville. Well, that hurts when you're a go-for-2 team. Yeah, you're right about that 66 playing the new number, and he's certainly not 158 pounds that the center was listed at. So Tristan Harris back in at quarterback, no Wildcat this time as he's going to try to spread him out and throw it. There's pressure from Anderson, who hits him as he throws it, and it's incomplete, out of bounds. 14-10 Millville with 6:55 to go in the first half. There's pressure,
All right, Rich.
and that pressure is just from Anderson here. As Tristan Harris rolls to the top, Anderson takes on the blocker, pursues, and puts pressure on Tristan Harris, where that's going to be thrown into 3 Vineland defenders with 3 Millville receivers and fall harmlessly incomplete.
First time we had a lot of pressure on him, which was really good. Pressure came from the left side. It looked like Reyes.
No, that was Anderson, number
Anderson?
8. Yeah, it was him all by himself out there. Took on the blocker, pushed him back, and then got to the quarterback. So Vineland set to return. It's been Seymour back deep in the middle. Pacheco and Garcia alongside.
Young man from Millville's got a pretty good leg, too.
Yeah, Zach Douglas, 25. Very good
They
line.
switched Pacheco and Seymour back there, Rich.
Millville switches. They go onside, but that's going to go to Anderson. You could get a return out of this. Anderson tries to get wide. He beats the first guy. He's to the 50. There's pursuit. He steps to the inside, cut to the middle, cut to the middle, cut to the middle. Picks up the block. And Naheem Anderson
Holy
does the
mackerel.
same for Vineland. You saw that developing, the way they set the ball up on the tee. And previously, I'm looking when you're talking about when they moved it, and you looked up in front, and there's some running backs standing there, and Naheem Anderson does exactly the right thing. He picks up a couple blocks, and right here, it's just his legs. Dips his shoulder, gets to the 50. Here's the tackle attempt, cuts to the inside, and right here, one guy to beat, and there's a block. It's almost a defensive clip there.
He fell down.
He wanted nothing to do with getting the block and just wanted to knock him down. So Klink for the extra point to put Vineland up 17-14. Ball is snapped, kick is down, and good. So Millville returns a kickoff. That was Bruce Williams. Then just that quick, Vineland returns it with Naheem Anderson. Naheem, great defensively, leading the league in touchdown receptions, tied with 2 Millville players. But he's going to get a lot of carries, it looks like, going into next year. He carries last year with Seymour out. But he has that same kind of speed and flash, and just an outstanding job by Anderson. Anderson had 2 really good plays in a row. The pressure on the quarterback. Here we go. Dip right there. Now it's the wheels that leave him one guy to beat. He jumps over him, and right here, one guy left. You've got Vasilios out front, it looks like. Cuts to the inside, just the outside. I can't tell if that, I think that was,
This is a quirky game, Rich.
see some of the ex-Vineland players down there that are now out in college congratulating him. Boy, but just when both teams were grinding it out, Coach Viso checking in, just when both teams are grinding it out, 2 special teams touchdowns. Give Vineland back that ball on their side for special teams as kick returns are tied and the field goal providing most of the difference here, all the difference. Klink says, I'm going to squib it. What are you guys going to do? Douglas has it, hit him in the face mask, and he's dropped at the 33. Nice job on the play right here. Just takes a hop into the face mask and going right through the block. Running over Aquendo to get back there.
Strange things happen on Turkey Day.
Yeah, you know, it was just setting into a grind them out kind of offense for Vineland. Millville a little quicker strike, but basic offense. And now we get back to football here. Vineland with the 3-point lead. We're at 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. There's the give up the middle. Now bouncing to the outside, and there's an opening. Really nice job by Richard Lane. Lane comes up and breaks down, but a great gain for Millville. But that could have been a lot more had Lane over pursued that.
Man, he is quick.
Yeah, Clayton Scott, as we mentioned pregame, 1,400 yards and 18 touchdowns coming in. Carlton Lawrence is the one trying to stop that touchdown down there. He's okay and gimped off for a little bit, but he's back in at wide receiver, and he's always a threat. It's been Williams so far, but Lawrence by himself at the bottom. Tristan Harris with one back behind him on 3rd and 2. See if they look to pop and fake the handoff, and there's a penalty there. It's going to go one way or the other. False start, I didn't see, or offsides by the defense. Let's get the call.
Well, on that call, it can't be offside because they would let the play go.
Good point. Yeah, because he certainly wasn't unabated back there.
Yeah.
So Millville ready quick. Looks like they're going to think they were going to fake the run. Now they'll just run the same play. There was no change of plays called. Dive in the middle. There's a little pocket, but an outstanding tackle on the play. Datrell Williams, he's really come on the second half.
Yeah, he's played well
Of this season. Had the touchdown a couple games ago.
I don't picture him as a linebacker, but He's up there,
He's 6 foot 215.
which means he's 5'10", about. Nah, he looks pretty big.
Yeah, I used to always ask you to please list me as bigger, and you never would. So third down here, big third down for the Thunderbolts. Vineland looking to get the ball back. Anderson right through it. There's the pass, but can you get the tackle? Oquendo picks up the first down for Millville by the nose of the football. Great execution with heavy pressure. And we're seeing that up front for Millville. They're having a little bit of difficulty even making the blocks. Vineland's just getting such a push through there. But look at this move right to the inside. Gets by Banks. Banks came up with a full head of speed looking to level a hit, but number 5, Oquendo, dips to the inside, gets the big first down for Millville as they approach midfield. They're at their own 44. We've got 5:10 and running on the clock. You know, I kind of think Anderson and the blitzing linebackers are fast enough to line up and show it and then drop.
Yeah.
Not all of them. I definitely think Anderson can do that and just cover some hooks. Delay a game on Millville. That's twice in a row. Millville's Clayton Scott trying to encourage his team on their penalties, almost making me think it's on Vineland, but both times moving back that way. Noah Sansalone checks in. Somebody's got to check out, and they got to hurry. Here comes Ivan Hales sprinting off the field. And Vineland's going to have to burn a timeout before they get too many men on the field. It wasn't Hale's fault as he was hustling as fast as he could, but from the far hash mark. That's a long run. So Coach Cliff Smith's going to go out there and get his defense together. And while they do that, let's thank our sponsors heading into the half. Starting with the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, 4049 Italia Avenue in Vineland, 856-691-5558. Beretta Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, 1784 Pine Avenue, Vineland, 856-691. Newfield Bank, 11 locations in Cumberland and Gloucester County, 800-690-3440. Richland Carpet and Flooring, 1309 Harding Highway, Richland, 856-697-3041. Larry's 2 Restaurant, 907 North Main Road, Vineland, 856-692-9001. Ducharme's, 9 North Main Road, Vineland, 856-690-1500. Patino ShopRite, 1255 West Landis Avenue, Vineland, 856-691-9395. Bachman Landscaping, 822 North Brewster Road, Vineland, 856-691-1559. Sir Speedy, 22 West Landis Avenue, Vineland, 856-691-0741. And Dr. Joseph Bernardini at Reconstructive Orthopedics, 994 West Sherman Avenue, Vineland, 856-696-0900. First and 15, the 38, Millville's own 38, and the ball snapped. Tristan wasn't ready. Pressure, he eludes it, gets to the outside. What great coverage, but still the completion over the head. And finally out of bounds. Boy, what an outstanding job defensively. Looks like Chris Miller. I'll tell you what, a big completion over his head, but he was on an island with the league's best receiver. Take a look at this here.
Yep.
Wide open, and here he comes up.
See, the kid knows he's in trouble, so he takes off. And we get caught a little flat-footed there.
Oh, I totally disagree. He was on an island with him standing still. He's got a hold there, and then when the ball came, he made a nice move to try to get back there, did everything he could as that's tackled and brought down right away on the inside. Now, he was on an island. He had to either force the throw or cover, and he held his ground and just by a matter of inches wasn't able to get to it. That's where you need somebody rolling over the top and helping out. When the quarterback rolls, that whole defensive coverage needs to shift up, and he should have been on the quarterback with some help behind him. So 2nd and 8. Anderson through the middle. It's complete. Trying to pick his way through the middle, and he does. Well, elusive running. An outstanding job by Clayton Lawrence.
That bubble,
Look
we
at
haven't stopped that
Lawrence
bubble all
right
year.
here to the inside of the block and breaks that tackle. Boy, talk about being elusive with the football. He's shown his abilities there. So we're at 1st and goal. Millville in the more wildcat look now. Ramos under center. And that ball was loose. And Vineland's got it. Tough to see what happened. That's what
I
happened.
don't know what happened there, Rich.
No, me neither. We're going to get a look at that
We got to
replay.
see that.
You can take me through and tell me what happened there, Coach.
It looked like the ball snapped and came straight up in the air, and whoever he caught it in midair. It never hit the ground, Rich. Came straight up.
We'll have to see if we can break that down a little better. It certainly was confusing. I didn't know. But see, that's what happens when you're a shotgun team and you switch to Wildcat when you get close. You bring somebody under center. It's different than what got you there. Seymour through the middle. Run the defense. There's a straight arm. He's hit from behind. He's still going to the 30, the 25. He sees some company, dives in the end zone. Touchdown, Fighting Clan, just that quick. Had those yards up in a hurry, Coach.
79-yard run.
Now right there, it's that straight arm, and then the strength to shrug off that tackler. He trips up Lawrence. One more to go. A little stumble in the end zone. Touchdown. Outstanding long run for Vineland. And talk about a 14-point swing as Millville getting ready to go in and score at 1st and goal. Vineland and put 7 on the board as Kling's leg has never looked stronger. Vineland 24, Millville 14. And the crowd is going nuts right in the beginning here. Look at the whole Vineland team hustling down, trying to get an angle. It looks like Garcia in there. He just gives a shove to Lawrence. Lawrence then trips over his own guy. Seymour trying to figure out where the people are, which way to go, and gets in the end zone.
First there from about the 15-yard in. He put a little gear on there. Because I thought that guy had a shot at him at about the 15.
Well, this may be the only stadium in South Jersey where you can look up at the live TV screen, the Fanavision if you want to call it that, and see where your pursuit's coming from behind. This time, Seymour does it old school and looks over his shoulder, knows he's got the angle into the end zone. So now Vineland up 10 with 3:30 to go. The patience Seymour has when he's running. Yeah, it's almost like he's in a position to absorb a hit at all times. When the opposite with Pacheco, he's in a position when he absorbs the hit, he uses that momentum and inertia from it to get a different angle to head up the field.
Yo.
Kling scribs another one. I kind of like kicking it deep. I know they got you once, but your special teams have been pretty good defending.
You make it a short field with this, Rich.
Yeah.
Especially a quick strike team. You're not talking about going 80 yards now. You cut that down by 30 yards.
Yeah, it makes those punts we were talking about non-essential as we're giving up 30 each time. Yeah, moving Marcel Ramos under center after you snapped through there was risky proposition, and it backfired on the Thunderbolts. Now let's see if Tristan Harris has answers to get them back to it. There's big pressure and the ball's loose on the ground, but it's picked up. Is there anywhere to run? Oh my goodness, what an outstanding run. Whew. Clayton Scott came to play today as he picks up 4 or 5 yards on that. He could have lost a lot. Outstanding job.
An
As we
18-yard
get another
gain.
look at this, big hit by Anderson. The ball's loose. It's picked up back right near the 35. Boom, another missed tackle. Boom, cuts back inside. Gets by Ziegler and from the outside with some help bring him down. A gain of 5 on the play. Here goes Scott over the right side as he's hit and spun. He's going to be a little short of the first down. He's going to set up 3rd and short with 2 minutes and 30 seconds and running on the clock.
Yeah, you don't want Millville to score here, Rich.
I'm greedy. I want another turnover, Coach.
Stop it.
It's that same formation. They ran out of it once. To the outside. Big opening. Staying on his feet before he's wrestled down after the first down by Richard Lane. It's one thing, when you're blitzing in that backfield, you can't just go 10 yards back. You've got to break down. You've got to keep everything in front of you. And that time the blitz just went past the ball. So Millville trying to answer. Down 10 with under 2 minutes now. 1:55 and running on the clock. Clayton Scott straight behind Tristan Harris to give to Scott in the middle, and not much there this time as Cosby and the D line make the stop. .135 and running. Millville's used 2 timeouts so far.
They got 1 left.
So they're down to 1.
This is where I get worried.
Just now?
Yeah.
I'm always worried, Coach.
Pass situation. We haven't stopped that bubble pass yet. I told you.
And incomplete as it hits the turf. That'll stop the clock with 1:11 to go. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for Millville. The clock had stopped. Now it's started again. Coach Russo asking what's going on with that.
Well, that was an incomplete pass. Or it was
They're
complete.
calling it complete.
How about that?
So 3rd and 5. Low snap. Harris has it. He's hit as he throws it. And it's going to go incomplete, setting up 4th down with 39 seconds to go. 4th and 5.
This is their last time out.
Oh, and they've taken the timeout.
Yeah.
To thank our crew once again for a wonderful season. Here today we have Mark McGill, Kayla Spire, crew chiefs Doug Diola, Ryan Steinbron, Dan Diola, and executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masori, the school district public information officer. And don't forget, rebroadcast of this. Traditionally, we will be going Saturday, Sunday at 6, Monday at 7. Always on the web at VPS. Hit the space bar. Broadcasting to pull up this game or any of the other games on Comcast 9, Verizon Fios 41. Yes, Coach.
There's that short field that started Millville's 46. Now they've only had a 25-yard drive.
But
They're
it's
down.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get your point about scary. Yeah. You're down around the 25, a couple first downs, and you start to pay
Yeah.
more attention. 1 first down, and you're starting to think here.
Well, it's 4th. Watch that bubble pass left, Rich.
I think I'd have to send Anderson on the outside over there. Let's see. Anderson in the middle. Now he moves to the outside. But they're looking at that man coverage and overthrown. 34 seconds, Vineland football. No flags on the field.
No. They surprised me by going. They only had 1 receiver out.
Well, man-on-man coverage with Carlton and Lawrence, you have I guess you got to like your odds if you're Millville. Yeah, it's not bad to get him manned up without somebody over the top. It's coming in. So Vineland in a tight formation. Looks like they're just going to kneel on it here. See if they make him snap it again.
Yeah, they got to.
Well, it depends when they make it ready for play. And so they don't have to snap it. They made it ready with 24 seconds. So that's going to take us into halftime with Vineland with the 10-point lead. Vineland will be kicking off to Millville to start the second. As Vineland responds to the Millville special teams touchdown and goes on a little tear to head up 10. Coach, take me through that half, and I'm going to get you some stats when we're done.
Okay, we started off by Vineland having the ball, and then a fourth down at the 40. They went for it, and they didn't make it. So Millville got the ball back. 3 and out. They punted. Vineland got the ball back, started on their 32. They drove it all the way down. And a 3-yard run by Seymour at the 45-second mark of the first made it 6-0. Clean good. Didn't take Millville long. 26 seconds. 36-yard pass to Williams from Harris at the 9-second mark. They went for 2. They were up 8-7. We go into the second quarter. Vineland got the ball. And Kling hit a 33-yard field goal to make it 10-8. Millville got the ball back immediately on a turn by Williams. And he ran it back 86 yards. Millville went up 14-10. Anderson on the next kickoff went 72 yards, put us up 16-14. Cleans was good. Millville was driving. They started at 33. They fumbled on the Vineland High School 5-yard line. Seymour ran 79 with the ball at the 3:30 mark. Clayton's kick was good, 24-14, and Millville just tried a fourth down play, did not make it, and the half ended with the score, 24-14, in a very exciting first half, Rich.
Well, right in time, Coach, as the VHS Marching Clan band takes the field. We'll step aside and we'll be back for a second half.
Again, let's hear it for the Vineland High School marching plan. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we want to get your attention right at midfield. Okay? We would like at this time to recognize the Insight Substitutes of the Year. First of all, we have Mr. Walter Trulin from Vineland and Mr. Doug Kreiner from Millville. Mr. Trulin and Mr. Kreiner have been selected as Substitutes of the Year based on their dedication to their school district, exemplary behavior, outstanding performance, and commitment to driving the curriculum in the classroom. Their goal, like ours, is to ensure our students continue to receive an excellent education. Thank you for your service, and please accept these gifts, given by our superintendent of school, Mary Guccio, and our principal, Dr. Thomas McCann, as a token of our appreciation. Let's hear it again from Mr. Walter Trulin of Vineland and Mr. Doug Kreiner of Millville. Let's not forget today also, as you go home and eat that sweet turkey, the pro football game's on today. The Detroit Lions take on the Minnesota Vikings, and the Washington Redskins take on the Dallas Cowboys. Excuse me? Again, high school football program like to thank all of our sponsors, every year sponsor Vineland High School football. We really very much appreciate all you do for the Vineland High School football program. Look on those big signs right along the fence that shows you all of our sponsors here supporting Vineland High School football.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. All right.
Welcome back to Cantone Stadium. At halftime, my name is John Parentazzi and my partner Rich Scarpa with the Violent ahead 24-14. Rich will have some stats for you, but as of right now, Rich,
We're
gonna
ready to
start
go,
the-
Coach,
yeah.
to get the second half started off. Vineland up 10. Millville will be getting the football to get it going. Looks like Lawrence back deep. This is going to be a short kick and rolls out of bounds. Of course, that was the intent to squib it. The out of bounds part, no. But again, we were talking going into the half. You know, not wanting to keep where Williams has already returned one on you is a problem, but it also sets up field position where 2 first downs and Millville's in scoring distance. Let's talk about Millville's offense and Vineland's going to have to kick it again. That first half, Millville Scott, the only rusher on the team, 8 carries for 44 yards. For Vineland, Vineland put up over 120 yards or 220 yards rushing. It was Seymour, 17 carries for 162 yards. Pacheco, 11 for 62. Pacheco, 1 of 2 passing, a 7-yard completion to Anderson. While Tristan Harris is 6 for 12 for 112 yards. 4 to Lawrence, 71. The touchdown to Williams, 1 for 36. And Sammy Oquendo, 1 for 5. Reyes recovered a fumble for Vineland. Vineland had 10 first downs and 0 penalties, Coach, while Millville had 4 penalties and only 6 first downs.
Oh, this.
Another one rolls out of bounds. So we talked pregame about Vineland's rushing attack, not just being one guy in the backfield and one guy getting it. The linebackers having to ID the football, and that's been a problem on the Millville side. For Vineland, just being able to key on Scott, the lone setback that's going to be carrying the ball, has really helped out as they're holding him to just over 5 yards a carry.
Rich is going to turn the whole game around. Kick the ball. You've tried two goofy kicks, and now we're kicking from our own 30, which means they're going to get the ball at least at midfield.
Also sends a defensive mode. You know, you want to be attacking here. Vineland up to 2 scores. This is where people not in the know are thinking, oh, Kling's not really hitting it good today. Well, he's hitting it perfect, but it's been the desire
Jesus.
and offsides on Vineland. That's 3. Vineland, no penalties in the first half and 3 penalties
In a row.
before a second comes off the clock in the second half. You got to figure out where to put those yards. Heard you had a visitor at halftime, Coach.
Yeah, Coach Ray stopped by. We were reminiscing about some games that were played and the fact that there are so many good athletes on the field, you know, both sides. Some years you have good athletes. He had them, we had them. But this year, both teams are loaded.
Kling would love nothing better than to be able to just kick it deep.
Oh, dude, we got to do something. I mean, we're cutting the field down, nut in half. We're going to cut it down even more. Are you kidding me? What the hell?
So Vineland now 4 penalties for 20 yards. You know, you're having trouble squibbing it and keeping it on the field. The last thing you need is an offsides.
This just takes all the momentum out of what you've done in the first half.
There's a buzz in the crowd, and it's not a positive one right now.
No.
Oh, I was hoping it could get over his head and negate some of that. And to the 45. And just one more time on the record, you know, the coaches decided squib it, squib it, squib it, meaning just kick a line drive, and they're rolling out of bounds. Then an offsides penalty. You know, Klink certainly with the leg almost burnt the deep guys on that one, which would have worked out great for Vineland, but a nice job by Scott getting his hand on it to knock it down. It's like Coach was in here moving my papers. Mm-hmm. First and 10 for Millville out their own 45. They try to go wide. Anderson ducks to the outside, back to the inside. There's a hold, and a nice job as Banks fights off the hold, and that's going to be a hold on Millville, making it about 1st and 19. So Vineland gets 10 of the 25 yards and penalties back. So we see right down to the bottom. There's Anderson. He steps out to turn him in, comes back in. They don't get that hold, but right there, 40 Banks. He's trying to run away, and the hold by Aquendo.
Same play.
To the other side and hit and drop. Cosby, Ziegler, Hales, and Anderson. The 4 of them in on that stop.
The other day, Rich, they went. They came out of the offense. They went to an option offense second half against Rancocas. I haven't seen any of it today.
Well, it's the first play was the first time they tried to pitch it wide. Now back to pass is Harris. He's looking for somebody. He floats it in the middle, overthrown. Richard Lane jumps up and not able to get it. Attended though. So it's going to be 3rd and long.
Boy, number 6 for Millville. Boy, he was out there waving his arm. He was wide open.
That's Bruce Williams who has the touchdown and the kick return touchdown.
They left him alone in a bubble after everybody went downfield.
So 3rd down here for Millville. They've got a ways to go. 16 for the first. Tristan Harris to pass. Late pressure. He steps up in the pocket, floats it.
Oh, he pushed off.
He pushed off. We
And
face
we got
masked him. Only one flag, so it looks like it's going to be the face mask. Carlton Lawrence gets the reception, then brought down by the face mask.
We got to see that, Rich.
Well, watch the push off. Get it, Coach.
He's coming. He pushed him right there.
He pushes Blakely off of him. And instead of offsetting penalties, because there was the face mask also, and a 3rd and 15, Millville picks up about 40 yards. And they're in striking distance now at the Vineland 17. Gain of about 8 or 9 on the play by Scott.
They're starting to run the stuff that the prep ran against them, Rich. They're beating up a little. They're trying to get outside.
Yeah, and Scott's doing a nice job running it. He's ducking his head to the inside to help set up those blocks. Millville marched down a little deeper than this on their last possession before a fumble. Now trying to get to the outside, and there's a tackle on the play by Reyes, who brings him down about the 6-yard line. That's going to set up
First
first
and
and goal.
Get Rich to start a short field again.
Yeah, short field and push off, face mask. Well, here we go now as Ramos in at quarterback. Under center. And he's trying to get out wide and looks like he's going to have it to the corner. Stretches the ball out.
He didn't make it,
And
Rich.
he didn't make it.
He did something I never saw before. He ran out of bounds and then put the ball forward.
We'll get another shot at that. From up here, I would have thought that one got in. Let's take a look.
Watch his feet.
And it's Garcia in pursuit. Looked like he could have made it up in there a little easier.
See, he ran out of bounds and then...
And Scott takes it over that last little bit, about a half a yard. So Millville gets on the board, down 4. They'll go for 2 here, trying to make it a 2-point game. A big completion to Lawrence on that 3rd and long. Marcel Ramos in the shotgun formation. 3 receivers to the top, and he's going to try to take through the middle. No signal yet. It looks like Vineland has stopped him short to hold on to the 4-point lead. So that defense comes off. I mean, they almost had that stop they needed. I mean, it was close. So now the offense going to have to do a little bailing out of the defense here.
Yeah, they took...
Not long. It seemed like a long time, but 9:32 to go in the 3rd.
They took about 3.5 minutes off the clock. Of course, the big play was that face mask.
Yeah, the push-off completion face mask on 3rd and 16.
But the real bad plays was the kickoff. We ended up kicking from our own 20-yard line.
Let's see if Millville's going to try to do the same and just kick it in the middle on the ground. And again, Zach Douglas on his first kicks was putting it inside the 10-yard line. So he, just like Kling, has a strong enough leg to boot it deep. Vineland with Seymour back deep. Garcia in front of him. Pacheco alongside Garcia.
Last time they had Pacheco in the middle.
I think Vineland's not trying to show too much. As now Millville spreads out and Pacheco drops back. Anderson, Lyndon Williams on the wings on the outside, right around their own 35 where the squibs usually end up. And it's a high kick, and it's going to be Pacheco from the 5 to the 15. Makes a couple moves. He's hit, stays on his feet. Breaks away again, and still going. Now he's going to come across the field. And brought down at the 46-yard line. I think that play may be too long to see the beginning of it on the replay, as he nearly broke that one. It just seems like he runs at a different speed with different vision. So here we go. 5. Starting out okay. We hit the 20. We try to get wide. Wisely, Seymour doesn't commit the clip. Breaks away and picks up a nice block by Garcia that springs him. So 1st and 10 Vineland on Millville's 44. It's the gift to Seymour. That time not able to square his shoulders up as just about everybody on the Millville defense brings him down. And he's a lot easier to tackle when his shoulders aren't squared to the line and not able to square it up there.
Yeah, and he's running a little upright today too, Rich. He's a great lean runner. That extra yards.
So Vineland trying to answer the Millville score early in the second half. See if Pacheco's rested enough to fake to Seymour and follow it up. They fake to Garcia. And there's the throw. It's tipped and incomplete. Nice job on the play by Carlton Lawrence, who picks up the pass. So big third down here, 3rd and 9.
Quarterback draw.
Vineland set. Here we go. Pacheco is going to throw. Now he tucks it under, gets to the outside. He's got the first down, makes a move in the middle, stays on his feet. A run, Isaiah Pacheco. Oh, my goodness.
41 yards, Rich.
Happy with the first down, but not Pacheco as he hits the brakes, ushers the defender by him, and accelerates into the end zone. Look at this move at the top of the screen here, Coach.
What a great, right here.
He just swats the tackle attempt by Darius Porter.
Got by 3 Millville defenders.
Darius Porter tries to come across and make the hit. Pacheco hits the brakes, escorts him by and into the end zone. And that one's good by Kling. So Vineland secures that 10-point lead over Millville. Pacheco with former defensive coordinator under Ed Belfie, Nick Basil, congratulating him down there. Well, that's the second most important run Pacheco's had today. The first was coming out of halftime, running up into the bleachers with Coach Guzman in pursuit. I guess needed to get something up here in the crowd. Maybe had to hit the restroom last minute, but he was certainly light enough, picked up the speed, and made an outstanding run. I was a little nervous as Vineland was kicking off with Pacheco and the defensive line coach up in the crowd here.
You were up here?
No, right before kickoff, Pacheco up with Coach Guzman behind him, I guess.
Oh.
The only thing I could think was a little restroom break, and that's why we were kicking off.
Kick the ball this time.
I say, kick it, kick it, kick it. I agree, Coach. Wyatt Kent, 18. I've been lumping him in with Vasilios, but he's been outstanding on these kickoffs. Wow, we're getting a kick from the 40, Coach. Look at that.
Well, don't hold your breath now.
And it's just a little pooch. But that goes to the guy as Douglas takes it up the middle, and he's a strong runner. And he's almost out to midfield at the 50. It was Douglas before I had one take a bad hop on him. He's a senior at 6'2", 205. Outstanding linebacker. And he certainly could kick some field goals too, but Millville doesn't do that, but he has a strong leg on those kickoffs. So half a field for Millville here. Well, I'll tell you what, Douglas's touchdown run on the kick return was big, but the field position that's allotted Millville the rest of the game is probably just as big as that one score. Tristan Harris pitches wide, inside route by the defensive end. So a good gain on first down, gain of about 4, make it 2nd and 6. You know, it's hard to tell with the ends and the defensive line because when I watch game films, they'll tell you the defensive call up there. And a lot of times they're sending them pinching, they're sending them slanting. But you got to have somebody on that outside edge because right now this second half, Millville's just been dipping their head in the middle and then pumping around to the outside. Now to pass, and it's a fake trying to roll. And on that catch. Great catch, but out of bounds. Carlton Lawrence, pressure provided by Reyes. So another third down for Millville.
Harris throws a nice ball, Rich. Reminds me of the kid from Howell.
He stands tall in the pocket, and he's very patient, and his accuracy is really, really good. I mean, he doesn't zip one in, lob one in. It's consistent the whole way through. And so we mentioned coming into today, 53% completion rate for Harris, and he's not doing like the Howell guy and just throwing the ball 5 yards in front of the line and 5 yards behind. He's got some deep patterns that he's trying to connect on.
One-on-one at the top side, Rich.
Oh, and that's backwards. That's a backwards pass. Vineland has it. Can he break the tackle? Oh, costly play for Millville. Datrell Williams didn't give up on the play and picks it up right before it hops out of bounds. We could see it here. As Harris has it, he's going to throw it backwards. His back isn't even ready and looking. And that's a live football. That's a lateral. An outstanding return, great field position for Vineland. And Datrell Williams continues to have big games at the end of the season here. So he sets Vineland up, looking to add to this 10-point lead. Ball's loose on the ground. Millville has it. Seymour not able to hold on, and Douglas gets it right back for Millville at their own 30. Don't forget to write down your possessions there, Coach. So we see the exchange here. And just not able to get it as Seymour. So fumble on the play. Millville back in business. Vineland was looking to go up and add to their 11-point lead, which would have been pretty detrimental for Millville. But Millville's Douglas comes up with the football, and now Millville back alive here. Nice completion and breaking some tackles on the play. Yeah, we got to make tackle. We're just flying up the field. That time, one of the blitzing backers thought it was a handoff and tried to stop on his pass rush when if he would have kept going. So there is some confusion back there, as I was mentioning, for Vineland, who's getting the ball when they're rushing. Millville, with fakes and everything else, are creating some problems for these blitzing linebackers also. Lined up offsides was Carlton Lawrence. Carlton Lawrence was about a yard offside, and I guess he did not ask the official.
No.
Because usually they'll tell you to move back, move back. So 5 yards of that big first down gain come off the board, making it 2nd and 7. I say run play, Coach. But it's a pass, and it's a screen. And another nice tackle on the play. Datrell Williams again. Reason I said run was anytime the quarterback just talks to his running back and he doesn't move, he's getting the ball. But it wasn't a handoff. It was a little screen, but doesn't get much.
It's a big play here, Rich. All this goofing around, if they could stop them, make them force them to punt.
Datrell Williams makes a big tackle.
They've thrown the bubble every time they need a yardage.
Offsides Vineland.
That's a first, too.
So first down, Thunderbolts on the penalty. So they're at the 40. While all this has been going on, not much time has come off the clock. 6:15 in running in the third quarter. There's the give to Scott, and he's wrestled down after a modest gain of 1. Ivan Hales checks back in. Noah Sansalone out, the starting left tackle on offense. Now back to pass. He's got time. And Ivan Hales almost makes the play, and who's he throwing to? Throw the flags. Intentional grounding. I believe that's a spot foul, Coach. Spot plus distance, right? Another intentional grounding. Ivan Hales maintains the edge pretty good to get a hand on him and turn him around, and that allows.
That's bad officiating, Rich. He has. The side judge cannot throw that flag. He cannot throw that flag. As the ref came over and asked him, "What are you doing?" And even his partner, the other side judge, came up.
And a Vineland player down on the field right now, right in front. That's Naheem Anderson. After the play, he had his helmet off. Seems to be just modestly banged up. He should be all right. That's going to make Sansalone check back in. There we are. So really the kick return for a touchdown for Millville and one long pass play. That offense isn't clicking like we've seen it click throughout the year. So a decent job by that Vineland defense, pretty much shutting down the run. It looks like we're ready to go here. 3rd and 22. See how much of this Millville's going to go for it, and they're going to try to get to that first down. They opt not to have the swing pass, and it's complete to Okendo for probably about 10. Going to be 4th and 12. And Tristan Harris is hurt. I don't know if we can run that play back, see if he took a shot at the end of the play, but quarterback Harris is on the ground. Possible holding his ankle, may have rolled his ankle. So we want to stay with the quarterback here if we can. Yeah, he got bumped into one of the Millville linemen that blocked the Vineland defender who spun him around and kind of just backed into the quarterback. May have hopefully just stepped on his ankle. We also talked to Coach Serace and former AD Serace about Millville's upcoming game in the Group 5 championship, Coach.
Yeah, he came in at halftime, and we reminisced about the old times. And this, he was a little upset about a couple articles in the paper, which I didn't read. How the Millville coach said he wasn't going to play any starters. The game didn't mean anything, and then Coach called him, and he backtracked real quick.
Well, the other thing is, if he didn't play his starters or rested some starters, it would be the first time all year, because the complaint around South Jersey football with Millville is they don't ever take the starters out. They could be up 50, 55 points, and they're going to fake punt, and they're going to keep getting points. So back to punt is Douglas.
Well, they're ineligible. They don't even have to worry about those guys. Only the 2 outside men are eligible, and they don't have they don't have men in the backfield.
Nice punt.
Oh, don't Pacheco. Attaboy. Just get away from it.
Looked like Pacheco caught a little flat-footed on that punt.
We're too deep. We're always too deep, Rich. Everything bounces in front of us.
Nice job by that Vineland defense making the stand. So Vineland up 11.
This second half is not a thing of beauty, Rich.
Now 5:10 to go. We've seen some beautiful Pacheco runs. Daytrell Williams with the left up and took it back a little ways. And speaking of things of beauty, there's procedure on Vineland. So Vineland in a precarious position back inside their 10. So 1st and 15. It's Banks at the bottom of the screen, out wide. Naheem Anderson inside of him. Give to Seymour. Picks up a few in the middle. So after the turnover that Williams got, Vineland turns it right back over. Millville moves a little bit. Then a nice pump by Douglas. And the penalty put Vineland at their own 12. Second and about 13. Garcia in motion. It's a fake to Garcia. Pacheco takes it himself, gets back a little past the original first down marker. It's going to be 3rd and 9. We're down to 4:24 to go in the third.
Yeah, this is as good a first half, Rich. This is how sloppy the second half is.
Get a nice shot of that offensive line. Anderson at tight end. Hill, Hales, Bachma, Ardahan, and Sansalone. They've been doing a nice job today. It's hard to get a push now because you got 9 yards to go. Then Pacheco, quarterback draw, gets to the outside.
Boy.
Garcia makes a block, stays on his block beautifully. Pacheco has one person to outrun.
That's okay.
And he's brought down after a big gain down to about the 22-yard line. And when we get another look at that, of course, we talk about Pacheco's running and his vision. But watch the sophomore, number 6, Garcia, stay with the block without holding. He's right there at the bottom of your screen. Engaged, stays engaged, and gives that whole side where it's nobody but Carlton Lawrence left to bring down Pacheco as the second defender leads with their helmet into Pacheco's back. So a deflated Millville side right now after the big Pacheco run, and they've had a lot of them today.
Come on, don't get a penalty here.
Pacheco with 65 coming into the half. There's Seymour in the middle. He trucks forward for a gain of 3 or 4. How long was Pacheco's touchdown run, Coach?
Touchdown?
Yeah, the one that just happened.
Oh, the one that just happened.
Or he
Started on the 15, 21.
No, this one here, 41.
41
And he
yards.
picked up about a 40-yard there.
He started at the 21. The ball's down where, Rich?
At the 20.
At the 20.
So that was 50. That's 90 yards. That's 155 about. He was trying to make a late push to get to 1,000 yards. So with 832 yards coming in. Yes, he's going to be about 900 yards coming into this half. Well, Vineland going to get their average penalties back as they had 0 in the first half. And they've chipped on a lot. But second down, 2nd and 13. Pacheco trying to find somewhere to go in the middle. And that's, not a lot of yards there, but that's the one in the first half where he bounces back a little bit. This time, looks for that first seam. So it's going to be 3rd and 9. Light breeze blowing to the top of the screen. So you see Robert Kling getting warmed up on the side. Vineland may need a few more yards here. Vineland's rushing attack has certainly done a number on the Thunderbolt defense. And Coach Russo is going to take a timeout and set up this big third down. With 1:30 to go in the third.
This would be a big, any points here would be big, Rich.
So right now, even though I doubt Vineland's going to throw the ball, you're at the 21-yard line. So we're looking at a 39-yard field goal from here. Kling's extra points and field goals have had the distance from there.
Nah.
Yeah,
You're talking about a 40-yarder from here.
I said 39, Coach. Well, you mean, yeah, nah, don't kick it, but I'm saying his earlier field goal had the distance. His extra points have had, I thought you were saying no, he doesn't have the distance. The probability and the trajectory factor in, but having the leg to do it, it's not in the question. Unless I get inside the 15, I just go for it again.
Yeah, you're in two-down
Yeah,
territory.
because the one thing is that a blocked field goal
You're
leaves
definitely
nobody back to defend,
You're definitely in two-down territory.
especially when you're up by 11. But and Pacheco to throw. Under pressure, he's hit and wrestled down. The ball comes out, but I believe he's down. The official says he was, as he's down, but a loss of about 3 or 4. So Vineland will go for this fourth down here as they're deep in Millville territory at the Millville 26. And official Ron Roberts calls the delay game on Vineland. Just recognized him down there, former standout wrestler and wrestling coach.
Is that who that is?
Yeah, he's head of the South Jersey wrestling officials. He's been doing football for quite a while. So fourth down. Fourth and long. Anderson to the bottom. Pacheco to throw. He's got some time. He steps up, picks up a block. He's not going to make it to the first down as he's wrestled out of bounds. Picks up about 3 or 4 on the play, where the Thunderbolts will take over with 24 seconds to go in the third quarter. So Millville ready to go real quick. They've got a lot of work to do down 11. Field position probably their least advantageous starting position. Tristan Harris, who was banged up, is back in. He throws a quick swing pass out. Cosby tries to get him, but popping to the outside for a big first down is Ramos. So first down Thunderbolts. They try to rally back here. And out of bounds on the play, so 14 seconds to go. Clock will start on the snap. It's a delay in the middle, hit and brought down, and that's probably going to do it for the third quarter as we get ready for the fourth, with Vineland holding that 11-point lead, but Millville with the ball approaching midfield.
Yeah, this is a possession. Except for the first possession, a 1-yard run by Scott. They've gone backwards the last 3 possessions. Vineland's had the ball 3 times, and they scored once. And they fumbled the ball, so there's a turnover, and this last one, they went backwards on that possession. So the second half has kind of been a turnaround of the first half, in that it has not been error-free football right now.
Now, and for Vineland's defense, if you can get Millville off the field without a score here, then the clock starts to really factor in for Millville. But if Millville's able to drive this ball, no matter what time it takes off, and get in the end zone, then time really isn't a factor. You're going to get the possession you need.
They only have to get one out of. They only have to get one out of a 2-pointer.
Mm-hmm. The offensive line, it's a quick meeting on the sideline, because they know what this is about. They have to establish that rushing attack one more time. The next time they get out there, they want to ice this one. But so much time left, so much to do, but it's got to start now for Millville. But 2nd and 8. Sammy Akendo comes across in motion. It's a pass deep. And it's going to be intercepted by Isaiah Pacheco. Just what the doctor ordered. Established great position on Marcel Ramos and just ripped it away from Ramos as both guys had their hands on the ball. Pacheco pulls it down for Vineland at the Vineland 25-yard line. Take a look at this drop by Pacheco. He's at the bottom of your
right
screen.
Here. He plays in 101. He
And
backs off of him, and he runs stride for stride with him. Looks it for the ball. Great catch coming down with it.
Boy, and you saw he played off like Coach said, but the closing speed, and he had his eyes on that football the whole time. Didn't get lost in the receiver's pattern. So just that quick. Vineland back with the ball. Now it's time for the big guys up front to try to establish Seymour in this rushing attack. Not that time. Good job by that defensive line. Waller in on the stop along with Washington.
This is our 4th possession. This is a big possession.
A big possession because we don't have field position either. The last time with it, you're inside the 25 of Millville and giving them a long field here. Vineland yet to punt today. There's Seymour through the middle. Picks up about 2 or 3. Again, a nice job by that Millville defense. Right now is where you can run that fake to Seymour, and if you had somebody to flip it to, because crashing down to the middle. We have 5 guys up front trying to block about 8 guys. So you got to keep them honest. The Millville defense has done exactly what they needed to do, setting up 3rd and long very quickly as they walk both backers up. And there's Seymour through the middle. Can he get to the first down?
Yes.
He dives forward and has a big first down. See, one thing Vineland's doing is sending that motion. It's pulling a corner out of the play. And then they come back down underneath. A big time for some big blocks, and Vineland goes to that left side of the line. Bachman gets credit for both sides being the center, but Ardahan and Sansalone give the opening needed on a 3rd and 8 for the first down. hit and dropped immediately. So nothing there for he loses a yard as we're under 10 minutes to go. Actually loses 2 yards, 2nd and 12. Vineland in no hurry. They could certainly use a couple first downs though. Oh, and they give to Garcia over the left side. And he picks up about 5. They've been faking to Garcia, half the time having Garcia run behind Pacheco in that jet motion. And Wise Vineland gives it to him and gets some nice yards on that play.
Okay, we need a Pacheco run here.
Well, 3rd down. You got to figure Millville's being told keep Pacheco in the pocket, so the outside edge is going to come up the field, see if Vineland can run a belly or something back down off tackle underneath it. Maybe even just have Pacheco follow Seymour. Let's try that Timmy Jones side on the right. Pacheco to throw. He's rolling. Akendo in his face, and he floats it. And Garcia is Johnny on the spot with the first down.
Whoa.
He floated that for Anderson, and the ball just carried. And Garcia that lays out and makes the play. Here's pressure from Akendo. And he floats it over the head of Anderson, but there's Garcia. And you don't know who he's throwing to, but if I'm Pacheco, I say I wanted Garcia involved in his 2nd play in a row. 2 big plays by sophomore John Garcia. Garcia, the sophomore, 5'5", 130 pounds, out there with some really big guys, and he's just eating up space. So first down for Vineland. We're under 8 minutes to go. Pacheco says he's going to throw again. This one's complete to Vasilios. Andrew Rapopoulos, who picks up about 7 or 8. Well, Vineland has addressed Millville crashing into the box 2 plays in a row. Real quick, Vasilios just turns, a 5-yard turn.
That's our version of the bubble.
Well, that's a nice way to get them to stop crashing down in the middle. And that's 3 plays in a row. Vineland has attacked the edges. So Millville probably now won't stack it up as much, and this is where you can get Seymour through there. And there's Seymour, and he picks up about 5, 6, 7, and a first down. So just when Millville crowds the box, Coach Russo and offensive coordinator Coach Volpe attack the edges. They spread them back out and then pound the big 230-pound running back in the middle for a first down. Vineland on the move to the Millville 26-yard line with 7:09 and running on the clock.
But it's being nice to finish this off, Rich, get in the end zone. 3 wouldn't help us.
No.
6 makes it a 3 score.
Yeah, to give Millville credit for 8 each touchdown if you're trying to hold on to a lead. Pacheco hit, dropped, loss of about a yard or 2. Nice job on the play. Looks like Sapp, the defensive tackle. Samick Sapp gets his arms all the way around Pacheco.
That time he should have gave it to Seymour.
I don't know if Sapp could have got his arms all the way around Seymour to do that too. That's what Millville needs. They need that defensive line to handle this run a little better. And for the big guys for Vineland up front, it's time to keep pounding away. Get your push. Pacheco, quarterback draw, picks up a beautiful block by Sansalone, tries to turn to the end zone, and he's in for the score.
28-yard run, Rich.
Pacheco gets Vineland in the end zone, but what a block by Sansalone as a design quarterback draw. Sansalone 75 right there, boom, right in the face of Akendo. Anderson comes back and drops a shoulder, and another defender who's still down. and into the end zone. Vineland up 37-20, waiting on the cling kick. Boy, Pacheco has really done it with his legs these last 2 weeks.
It's a Millville youngster down.
And even going to back to the St. Augustine prep game, when Seymour went out, it was Pacheco all over the field, cramping up, running all over. He's had a big workload. As he's approaching that 1,000 yards, it's got to be really close, adding that 20 in there. But that was an Anderson hit. If we can pull that back, if we still have it, show you that Anderson hit on the inside. And this time he didn't get a penalty for hitting him too hard. So Anderson's at the top of your screen. Stay away from.
No, that's
that's the other one.
That's what played before.
But Anderson comes back and drops the shoulder in. As Pacheco's happy, celebrating. Vineland turned around. First 2 losses of the year.
Yeah,
to St. Augustine Prep and then to Hal. And have really got it on track against Millville today. 37-20. Let's see if Kling can boot this one into the bus parking lot. Does it clear it? Yes, to the buses, and it's good. So here we go. You're going to see Sansalone, left tackle, come down. He's going to take 5 at Kendo, and right there is Anderson waiting in the middle of your screen. Comes back and delivers a shot on number 4, Jemmer Downing. Just outstanding blocking. Coach Guzman congratulating Pacheco. And, of course, some outstanding individual performances from Vineland. But that offensive line that had the size advantage showed that they can put some pressure on the defense. John Garcia on that drive. On a second down, picks up about 6, has a reception for a first down on third down to keep it going. So let's hope they let Kling kick this one deep, Coach.
Kick it anywhere but out of bounds.
So I always think instead of squibbing it, just pop it up high, drop it 15 yards, 20 yards back, because half the time these guys don't know they can call a fair catch, and you can just really put some fear into people. So the jam-packed House Stadium, the field looped. They've seen a Vineland team that came out this second half, started a little slow and got it together, and there's Downing. So Jemmer Downing, that was down on the last play, gets that one. Returns in a good field position into the Vineland side of the field for Millville. And if you're wondering, I'm going to tell you there's 5 minutes and 46 seconds to go in this ball game. Millville down 18. So they need 3 scores. So not the momentum Millville wanted going into the state championship game versus Toms River. Reyes on a blitz. And there's a hold, a nice job on the play by Daytrell Williams. It looks like they got a lot to sort out as Tristan Harris took a shot again. And it was Daytrell Williams trying to turn the running back in that got the hold call. There's a big shot on the play by Anderson. There's Daytrell getting held.
No, 55 held.
No. Daytrell's our guy. He's the guy that got held.
Oh, no, he hit him in the back. Well, he probably hit Daytrell in the back.
So that backs Millville up. It'll be first down again. So it's going to be about 1st and 16. There's a spot foul. It's 10 yards from where the hold happened. Going deep. Looking for a receiver. Nice defensive job as that once again Garcia, as both players go down. So Lawrence down. Garcia down, both holding their legs. So with 5:33 to go and a couple players down, no time like the present. For all season long, we'd like to thank our sponsors. And not only we want you to thank them, but if you can stop by and check them out too, as they make the broadcast possible. Starting with the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, 4049 Italia Avenue, Vineland, 856-691-5558. Plumbing, heating, and cooling, 1784 Pine Avenue, Vineland, 856-691-1950. Newfield Bank, 11 locations in Cumberland and Gloucester County, 800-690-3440. Richland Carpet and Flooring, 1309 Harding Highway, Richland, 856-697-3041. Larry's 2 Restaurant at 907 North Main Road, Vineland, 856-692-9001. Ducharme's at 8 North Main Road, Vineland, 856-690-1500. Bettino's ShopRite, 1255 West Landis Avenue, Vineland, 856-691-9395. Bachman Landscaping, 822 North Brewster Road, Vineland, 856-691-1559. Sir Speedy at 22 West Landis Avenue, Vineland, 856-691-0741. Dr. Joseph Bernardini at Reconstructive Orthopedics, 994 West Sherman Avenue, Vineland, 856-696-0900. And the members of Vineland Education Association are proud to support our student athletes in our community. Happy Thanksgiving from our family to yours. Coach?
Garcia's played a heck of a game, boy. He's really played well. I don't know. I thought I saw Miller go in over there, Rich. Number 20.
Chris Miller, the junior, 5'11", 175. He was the one that was in that pretty good coverage at the corner spot earlier. Scott trying to get out wide. Boy, and that run ends going backwards as those D-backs are able to come up and really make a hit.
I think Millville's in 4-down territory now.
And then some 5-12. Or it may be time to, if you get to 4th down and long, just wave that white flag and punt it away.
Nobody does that.
18 points with under 5 minutes. What do you think? One more try, this drive, and then the crowd is alive on the side.
Bubble.
And there's the screen. Scott trying to break tackles, and he does. He's got Cosby to elude, and he steps out of bounds. There was an outstanding block by the Millville player on the inside there. Just when it's almost a hold, not a hold, and when you can maintain a block that long, no flag hits the field. That's called an excellent block. Try to pick up the number on this for Millville.
It's a lineman.
As they hit that screen pass.
You'll see a lineman come down here, Rich.
Right there, number 55. Outstanding job for Millville. And of course, there is no 55 on my roster. But an outstanding block. Way to hold on to that. Vineland takes a timeout with 4:38 to go. As Coach Cliff Smith goes out there, the defensive coordinator. This has been just an outstanding year of Vineland football. One that turned around in a hurry, coming off the 3-8 or 3-7, getting out to a 7-0 start, dropping one to a very good St. Augustine team, then losing that first-round playoff game to a good Hal team, but that happened with 20 seconds left. You lost your lead that you've had the whole game. And to turn it around like this, as Coach Cliff is making sure no more points are scored out there. Congratulations to, of course, the players, but also the coaching staff. Phil Bernozzi, who was at Paul VI and came back to join us. He's the special teams coach. Chris Vizo, the quarterback coach, and you talk about growth of a quarterback. Pacheco, from last year, on and off, that really has been somebody to come out and watch. Sylvester Scefalalio, the offensive line coach, can't praise his work this season enough as these guys have really gelled together. Jose Guzman, the defensive line coach, and as we say to Jose, nobody runs the A-gaps. Coach Volpe, the offensive coordinator. Cliff Smith, the defensive coordinator. Vineland sends everybody. Aquendo, and it's incomplete. Way to fight for that football. Just an outstanding job as both players go up for the football. You take another look at that there, Coach.
Yeah, that young man stayed perfect position. He had as much right to that ball as the offense. Very nice.
And they did get the pass interference to push off on Millville. So that's going to be coming back. And I believe that was Chris Miller that you're talking about. I couldn't tell if it was 20 or 28. That's Chris Miller, the junior at 5'11", 175, who's in at the quarter spot with Cash Phillips out and Garcia a little banged up. He's been in earlier today, and I was complimenting that one play being out on an island with the quarterback and the receiver earlier. Well, this time gets in great position after the push-off and just keeps fighting for that football till it finally falls out. So Vineland showing some depth with some underclassmen. Harris to pass. He steps up. He sees Anderson, and that's floated incomplete. And Harris is getting up slow once again. So the incompletion gives us 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go. It is going to be third down, I think, now. 10, 20, second and 25. Tristan Harris got to the outside and was looking to throw, and then once he saw Anderson, he's like, I need to get rid of this in a hurry, and he did. Here's Anderson back up through the middle. Getting to the outside is Scott. He's got blocking in front of him, uses it well, and he stood up, but he spins to the outside before finally Richard Lane and company bring him down. An outstanding run. That's going to be a gain of about 15. Well, Scott not on track like he's been most of the year, but he's taken every inch he could get from Vineland. He's certainly run tremendously hard, never given up on a play. Harris to pass. He floats it deep. Pacheco in position. And it's good for the touchdown. Pacheco gets up and tries to knock it away, but a great reception on the play by Ramos. So Millville answers with a score of their own. Pacheco gets down in there. He's in nice position and just coming away with the football. That's just an outstanding football play by Ramos. And, of course, quarterback Tristan Harris, who put it right there. So Millville going for two. Then it'll probably be onside kick time. If they convert this, they'll be down 10. This time it's Harris at quarterback, not that wildcat look. And Harris floats it in the middle, complete. On a quick slant to number 6 Williams, who gets back on the scoreboard. After his kick return and touchdown reception, he gets a 2-point conversion. So what a nice way to, Vineland can come up with this onside kick to end the game, is getting your offense back out there, getting the big guys set, and just real quick here. Catch, throw. Don't know why Cosby put his arms down. If he kept them up, he may have been able to get to that. But you've got the offense out there. If you can recover this onside kick, then you hope to just pound the ball a little bit.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Pacheco went for that ball. I thought he had a shot at it.
Yeah, it looked like that ball just kept going a little bit too high.
Yeah.
And probably after rushing for about 200 yards today and playing both sides of the ball, not as much spring in Pacheco's step as earlier in the day. Seymour goes back. Let's see if Vineland moves that second line up.
You got to move it up, Rich.
Justin Young out there now, too. He's got the hands. He's in the middle, number 30. Oh, little timeout.
Why?
1, 2, 3, 4.
They got
5,
11.
6, 7. Yeah, I think don't overthink it there. And looked like Millville was going to kick it. Coach Phil Bernozzi talking to Naheem Anderson. It's one thing I've liked about Vineland and their special teams. There's a lot of guys that go both ways that are still on the special teams. Guys that start on one side or the other are still on there, and they work in other guys.
Rich, I think Millville has all their timeouts left. They could. We need a first down. Fall on it.
Oh my gosh, what an outstanding play by Bruce Williams.
No, the ref said it was out of bounds.
Well, the officials are going to confer. Well, we got another look at it. While they're conferring, let's take a peek at it. It certainly doesn't look like it was out of bounds.
Well, he's bringing it back.
Well, he's going to bring it back to where Millville touched it because you can't advance it.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
So Millville got more than they could have hoped for there as they have the ball at the 31 with 3:38 to go. And all their timeouts, Tristan Harris throws over the middle, and it's intercepted by Banks. And they sure enough signal it. Jared Banks, the senior, 4-year starter, got banged up in the Bridgeton game and came out. Banks drops to the ground on the underthrown pass, gets his arms under it, and may have sealed the victory for Vineland. And what a nice thing to happen to an outstanding player for Vineland. You see that big elbow brace. First offensive play at Bridgeton. He's out 4 or 5 weeks. Naheem Anderson goes to tight end and is just still leading the league in touchdowns and average per reception. So tough to get back there. Goes to his outside linebacker spot. Started as a freshman on the inside, and he comes up with the big play. It couldn't be happier for him. Pacheco through the middle, and he's going to be gone. Give him 1,000 yards on the season if he can outrun Ramos down to the 6-yard line. But that's going to put him over that 1,000 yards for sure. Now this is where, if you had a timeout, you call it. Watch this here. Right through the middle and gone. Ramos shows some outstanding speed tracking him down. Pacheco pumping, brings it down inside the 5. Now don't do anything here. Give the ball to Seymour 4 times. Sanzalone, Ardahan, Bachma, Hales, Jones, and Anderson, that front offensive line that has just really done an outstanding job. They've had their moments where Millville was overloading it in the middle, but they stayed with what they were doing. Vineland opened the field back up with Coach Russo and Volpe. Lyndon Williams in at quarterback. And a delay of game on Vineland.
Jeez.
Lyndon Williams, another senior. Lyndon last year, Pacheco started out at running back, and with Seymour hurt, went to running back, and it was Lyndon Williams who got the quarterback and did a nice job for Vineland. There was also Lyndon Williams that the first game of the season, after the first drive, Pacheco's out with a stinger that orchestrates Vineland to their first win over Bridgeton in a while. They got the season going. So he's more than qualified in there. He also has some rushing touchdowns on the season himself. Millville bottles this one up. And that'll bring us to 3:10 and running on the clock and make it second down and goal. Second and goal from about the 9. Got a few more yards than I had thought. Millville takes a timeout. Other seniors on the squad were Sean Blakely, former fullback. Everybody just does everything. Who's been at safety all season and has done a nice job, as I mentioned, Vineland in the top 5 in the league in yielding passing touchdowns, meaning they don't give them up often. And, as the safety back there, and to have these scores where we're not giving up yards or anything, just did an outstanding job. Also the holder on all the kicks.
He's got Pacheco back in the game, Rich.
So Pacheco rested. Cash Phillips, who averaged nearly 8 yards a carry this season, playing corner and playing running back. Also in his last game, I mentioned Lyndon Williams and what he's meant to the program. Vasilios Andropoulos, who has a reception today, also at the wide receiver spot making blocks, but on special teams, he's outside contain man on that and has done a pretty good job all season. So Pacheco back in. He's going to keep it, and he's going to float it complete to Anderson, who's tackled before he gets in. Robert.
Third down from the 1, Rich.
Millville does not call a timeout.
No.
So not the Thanksgiving Day that Millville was expecting today and Coach Dennis Thomas, but they've got a big game coming up next week trying to win a Group 5 South Jersey title. But it's been Vineland today. Pacheco plowing through the middle. No signal yet, and looks like he's going to be just short, making it 4th down. So I was mentioning the seniors, Robert Kling, who came out after the season got underway last year and has really worked hard at his kicking game, a former soccer player, and has set some records here for kicking in Vineland. Most field goals, most points. He had this high-power offense with him. Had a big field goal today to help out Vineland after Millville converted their 2-point conversion.
Come on.
1:45 and running. Pacheco, end zone, touchdown.
Run.
So Vineland answers back pretty quickly with their own score as Kling and Fernaccio congratulate Pacheco. He's going to let Garcia pass, and off the block of Hales into the end zone for the score. Also, senior Datrell Williams had a touchdown a couple weeks ago. Did an outstanding job defensively at that linebacker spot all season. Seymour, who got banged up, still averaging over 8 yards a carry. He's been the workhorse in the middle. Justin Young, always there. Special teams, and also getting some carries earlier in the season. Jared Banks, who had the interception. 4-year starter. Richard Lane, staying back there at talking before, but at safety. And Richard Lane battled to a starting position in the preseason and has anchored it down, number 45. He's also one of the captains along with Banks, Seymour, and Pacheco. As Williams, 27, comes off now. Then the guy on defense that's been doing it all year long as we wait for this Kling extra point. And it's up, and it's good yet again for Kling. Next senior on there, 51, DeQuan Cosby. We talked a little bit earlier today. Started out as a freshman starting fullback and one of the leading rushers on the team. Moved to the... And Pacheco got his 1,000 yards on the season. Congratulations to Isaiah, who's done an awful lot these last 3 weeks. But back to Cosby. As I talk about all the time, Cosby, as you see Pacheco a little broken up down there. But Cosby in that defense, anchoring the middle of that defense, involved in over 75% of the tackles that Vineland has had this year. And really solidified it. Last year played some offensive guard. They asked him to setting up that defense, and between Cliff Smith and him, the Vineland defense hardly ever out of position, making all the calls, and certainly stellar in there. And right in front of him, Ziegler, 6'2", 350. Ziegler at the nose just really shut down any type of rushing attack on the inside against Vineland. So Kling to kick. Hopefully they'll let him kick this one deep with just 1:36 to go on the clock.
Rich, I'm amazed what kind of shape Pacheco's in.
He's his yards are a lot of running, not to mention everything else that doesn't count as yards. So Williams takes it. He wants to run up the middle. He's looking for somewhere to go, gets inside before he's finally brought down. Nice tackle on the play. That was Garcia, who shows you the future's going to be all right with Phillips out. It's been Garcia, and he's done some real nice things today. Finishing off with the last senior on the roster, Ivan Hales, two-way starter, defensive lineman, offensive tackle, hustles all over the field. Just really is outstanding. That defensive line has controlled everything they needed
We got
to.
9 players out there, Rich.
Everything they needed to all season long.
Rich, we got 9 players.
All right. Everything. They jump off sides. Almost sacked by Reyes. He gets away, floats it short and complete, but now turning back to the middle of the field. Here comes Reyes again. Reyes almost makes the sack and then gets 15 yards upfield to escort the runner out of bounds. Sorry about that, Coach. When you said that, I thought we had called timeout. Then I was like, oh, we don't have any. The way everybody was standing there, I thought there was a timeout called. Second down for Millville and short, 1:15 on the clock. Tristan Harris, big pressure, and brought down gently by Naheem Anderson. So Ivan, that last senior, an anchor on the team.
Rich, we only got 10.
We're up to 10, Coach.
Yeah, we're gaining.
It's like a handicap. I got my jersey on when I played with you, Coach. I don't think I need them shoulder pads, but these kids got a lot bigger. 45 seconds in running. There's Reyes, and he gets the sack. Reyes at a sack and a loss of about 25. Reyes, only a sophomore. Started at inside linebacker last year. Moved to D-line this year. Look at this rush he gets. He goes right through 55, makes the sack. 23 seconds. Millville, if they want, they'll have one more play. But you don't even need to inject the turkey this year, Coach. It's going to taste good without it.
We're
10.
We're up to 11 now, Rich.
9. We got 11? That's not fair. 4, 3. And that's it. Ball game. Vineland 45, Millville 28. And I guess the crowd decided they want to storm the field. As everybody and their cousin, their aunt, and their sister are out there as the two teams shake hands, wishing Millville nothing but the best. Hopefully they can bring South Jersey, the real South Jersey, and Cumberland County a Group 5 state title. As they'll have their hands full with Toms River North next week, and that'll be right at Rowan University. Coach, what happened in the second half?
Well, excuse me.
You ran out of lozenges.
Millville was down 24-14 to start the half. They got the ball. Scott, a 1-yard run, started the third quarter. Made it 24-20. They missed the 2 points. We come back, and on a 41-yard run by Pacheco at 8:07, made it 30-20. Kling's kick was good. It was 31-20. They threw a backward pass that we picked up, but they got stopped. We fumbled immediately. We went into the fourth quarter with the score, 31-20. Vineland on a 8-yard Pacheco run at the 5:53 mark made it 37-20. We made the point and made it 38-20. Millville came right back to a Harris to Ramos pass at 3:42 and a beautiful catch. Made it 38-26. They got 2 points. Made it 38-28. We lost the kickoff, but we got the ball right back. And interception. Pacheco on a fantastic run brought the ball to the 5-yard line. He went in on a 1-yard run at the 136 mark. Made it 44-20. Clean kick was good, and that's the final score, Rich. And a great game on Turkey Day, 45-28.
Well, Coach, this has been a surprisingly awesome season. You know, you're hoping for 5 wins coming in, get a couple more than last year. But as I got to say, from day one when Coach Russo took over, his idea was have the Vineland players stay in Vineland, and this team will win. And he's starting to prove that point. As we talked pregame about some Millville players that are at St. Augustine Prep, a whole handful of 5 of them over there. And for Vineland, you're coming here, you've got great uniforms, you got great fans, you got the best stadium in South Jersey, you got a video scoreboard, the brand new big old scoreboard, and just an excellent atmosphere. Vineland, for the first time in 7 years, hosts the Daily Journal Cup as they are county champions this year, beating Cumberland, Bridgeton, and Millville, and also finished second in the Colonial Conference of the West Jersey Football League to St. Augustine Prep. Just an outstanding way to end it. Coach, this has been a pleasure. I look forward to what's going to happen next year, and I'm going to miss watching this team play more than I missed a team in a.
Rich, it was exciting to work with you. They finish up 8-2, which is a great run. And after the first 7 wins, you know, we ran into the big boys.
And you finish 8-2, and you just beat the number 16 ranked team going for a South Jersey Group 5 title.
Yep.
Number 16 in New Jersey, not in South Jersey. And you didn't just beat them, you beat them 45-28. But thank you all season long to our crew who make all this happen. Mark McGill, I'm going to announce all of them because everybody's been in and out. Mark McGill, Skylar LeBruno, Kayla Spire, crew chiefs Brian Anthony, Doug Diola, Ryan Steinbron, Dan Diola, and executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masori, the school district's public information officer. Coach, happy Thanksgiving. Get me out of here.
For Rich Scarper and myself, John Parentazzi, listen, have a great Thanksgiving, and the turkey's going to taste good, Rich.
It's about time.
Have a great week, and hopefully we'll see you next year.